Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. As again, I'm just starting my channel, so if you would please like and subscribe to my channel and also leave a comment in the video. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can contact me at 7pointedstar@gmail.com or intuitive medium Michelle, and I will write that down in the description. Also, so today we're going to talk about mediumship. And we're going to talk about it again, just like psychic, this is just going to be an overview of mediumship. It's not going to be in great detail. It's just to give you enough information, especially if you're interested in becoming, well, you already are a medium. If you want to practice being a medium, so the types of mediums that there are is there's a medium, there's a channel medium, there's a trance medium, and we'll discuss trance and channeling. And then there is the physical medium. Okay. Most people are just mediums. They don't really practice. They do get information from the higher powers. And so how I'm going to describe that is if you're a medium, I would say you're a psychic because you use your psychic powers. You do get the clairs, the hearing, the sensing, the feelings, the emotion. When you read someone, it's just that you're not reading energy. The energy, the it's like a lotus flower plant on the top of your head that opens up, and it's like a receiver. Sometimes when I look, when I look at mediums on stage, to me, it's like an antenna. But just to be a medium, you may not see that. The information just comes in. It's not like knowing, it just comes in. The medium interprets that information and then relays it. It's the same with mental mediumship. Mental mediumship is you set the intent and the whoever you're channeling, mostly crossed over loved ones, friends, relatives from the past, leaders, Abraham Lincoln. Don't know why I said that, but apparently he must be in the room right now. But hey, it's okay. But that's how it is. A lot of mediums say, oh, I can't tell who comes in. And that could be possible. And sometimes that person does come in, or sometimes, I'm sorry, spirit. That spirit does come in. But sometimes that if, people come, like when someone dies, they run to find a mental medium because they want to hear from the loved one, like, how are you doing? Are you living? This, that, and the other. So so spirits arrive as spirits arrive what am I saying, right? Spirits are here. They're always here. They may talk or they may not talk. The medium may sense the spirit, but since the spirit may not talk or come forward, then they can't convey any information to. So, and the difference is like you can go to a psychic and a psychic can read things from a crossed over loved one. If they're reading the energy, they're reading your energy, not the energy from the spirit world. Some mediums say, well, all readings that are mental mediumship have to be a crossed over loved one or someone who has died. Well, if Ascendant Master comes over, Ascendant Master has ascended into heaven. Like if Jesus comes and he wants to give you a message, he wants to talk about some things that you've done. The reason being is because I've read on people who are like 17, 20. They have no one, well, they probably do have people in the spirit world that they don't know. They don't know some of the great great grandparents. They may know of them. And they may have their great grandparents around, their parents around, all their friends. Therefore, I have found that an archangel may come in, their guardian angel may come in, their guide may come in, say, "Hey, I'm here, I've been watching you," or ascended master may come in, or, an angel of God. So usually spirit does not let someone go out, especially in a, if you're having a gallery and say there's 10 people or 5 people, the spirit world is going to say, "Oh, well, she didn't know anybody in the spirit world, we're not going to read on her. You can do a psychic reading or whatever." So a spirit from the spirit world has usually come in when I've done those, and there's someone who is very young and they do not have any crossed over loved ones. The next one is channel. So sometimes we have trance medium, we have channel medium, or we have trance channel medium. Okay. Channeling, I find, is when I open up my book and I connect into spirit, and spirit gives me information. It's also called spiritual writing. And I'm writing down stuff. Some people channel books, they channel music, they channel notes, they hear all kinds of things. The reason why that is different than a trance medium is because the medium and the spirit entity, in my opinion, because other people may say it's something else, are one. The energy is just that high. It's it's an the energy is like you may see the spirit move. The spirit move, excuse me. You may see the medium move. Uh Kind of have motions. You can do spirit art being in a trance, and it's the emotion, the artist and the medium are one, and it's like a movement that is going there with the drawing. So there are many spiritual artists, and if you find them on YouTube and you say spiritual artists, you'll see them moving, um moving as they draw. If I sit down and I channel someone, lots of times, and there's different places, like some people channel and they're stiff and they just sit there and their voice just moves. And some people channel and they take on the mannerisms of the spirit person. If the spirit person sits a certain way or their hands move a certain way, they're really enchanted. Sometimes it's transfiguration going on. Transfiguration is when someone is sitting there speaking and you see another face on top of their face, or their hair or a beard or a mustache. The medium has really transfigured, uh, and they're speaking to that person. Unlike mental mediumship, the medium hears the spirit, they transcribe it to bring out words. Because sometimes I'm going to tell you, spirit can say some things that if you're in a gallery, you just don't want to blurt that out, or you have to kind of be a little bit careful of how you are going to blurt that out. Happens in trance mediumship too, but okay. But in trance mediumship, you can hear the spirit. And then for me, myself, my voice, my hearing, and the spirit all becomes one. And it's like a flow. It's like not thinking of what's said, and just channeling things. Sometimes I remember bits and pieces. Sometimes I remember when it first starts happening, and I remember the end because I'm starting to come out of it. Some people don't remember at all. Like they're deep enough. They're not necessarily in a delta brainwave phrase. Some are, and you can't be in a delta. This is my own personal opinion, and that is because if I'm in delta, I need to have some motor skills to hold my head up, to kind of maybe use my hands. I know a transcendental medium, Seon, when he goes into a trance and he doesn't remember it, all kinds of things take place. he actually opens his eyes and walks around the room. Some mediums just sit there and talk. Some kind of, it's like a slight motion. And, there's different things. And there's drawing. There's writing. That medium is entranced. They could probably type. They could probably fix things because they have the capacity of the universe there. Sometimes it's just not one. Lots of times when you listen to a medium in trance, it's a collective. It's more than one. It could be the aliens. It could be the archangels, the ascendant masters, angels of God. There's just a lot, like your whole spirit team. Somebody may be channeling, you may go for a reading, and your whole spirit team just shows up and they talk as a collective. So those are things that happen when you talk to a trance medium, and there's also healing. So a trance medium that goes into a trance can do healing. That's when they will put their hands on your head or your shoulder. It's also where you have, I gotta think about that. Pause. Where you have the etheric surgeon show up and they will do surgery on the person. Or you could put your hands on, like I said before, on the person's head, and it would feel like your fingers are going into the brain, which means that the spirit energy has is your hands are their hands. And so they will move them inside the body and fix what it could it be brain, it could be the stomach area, it could be a broken bone. That's when miracles happen. Miracles also happen in another phase, which is the last part that I will talk about, which is physical mediumship. And that is the phenomenon of spirit materialization, apports appear, spirit art. I've seen canvases out and art appears, or stones, and all of those fall out of the sky or out of someone's mouth or through the ectoplasm, oils. The trumpets are swaying in the room. Lots of times people did this in the old days. If you ask about a seance being transcribed, you will see people sitting around the table holding hands or in a room, and the cabinet is there and they're in complete dark. The reason why they are in complete dark, it's not to take away from what is going on because it's sacred at that time. That room is sacred. Spirit is showing, hey, we are really here. But it is because the medium has ectoplasm, and if light were to hit the ectoplasm, it could really hurt the medium because the ectoplasm comes out. It comes down a silver cord and it does come out, but it also withdraws back into the medium's body. Physical mediumship is one of the hardest phases of mediumship, and it requires a lot of dedication. Stigmata happens with physical mediumship. As I said, spiritual art, things appear, the medium disappears or comes back. There's many things that happen. The medium is in a deep delta trance. They do not remember anything that happened during that time. I do know one physical medium. At times, they will wake him up in the middle of the seance. There's still no lights. They will just wake him up. And he will talk for a couple minutes, and then he'll go back under and the voice box reappears. So there's many things, and there's probably some that I haven't even described here, but I just wanted to give an overview of this. And so we always wonder about things. And we wonder about this phenomenon that happened. I believe the first medium was Enoch. Then it was Moses, and then Jesus that we all know of. Moses split the Red Sea. Enoch said he could hear from the heavens as well as the earth. The archangels took him places. He actually went from place to place. He hid, and then he turned into an archangel. So that's another story for another time. But thank you so much for listening. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you about Jesus who healed people. And then he ascended. And there's many ascended masters, and there's many things that happened that people were mediums that weren't written about in the Bible or in the books, or we don't know of, and we're still finding stories. So hopefully all of that will come about someday, and we'll get to know all of that before we cross over into the realm of the powers to be. So have a great day, and I send blessings to everyone, and thank you for listening.